edition of Digivation Tech Outlook 2023 series.
What I would recommend is again what Dubai did. Let us build ecosystem of centers of startup, medical ecosystem. If you want to go into startup in the area of medical, this is your ecosystem. And we can spread it across Nigeria. For instance, the medical ecosystem can be in Anambra. The IT ecosystem can be in Nigeria. It can be in Lagos. Ekpe. The engineering ecosystem can be in Jos. So that whatever in that ecosystem, all the infrastructure required for a seamless running of startup is provided. Pending when this startup will now become very successful, and then they will be able to pay good tax to the government, then government will now have more money to run the government. Let us build a modern infrastructure, connectivity, electricity, water, everything that the youth will need. This problem will be solved. Dubai elites are smart. They know that nobody can sleep sand. If the number of people who cannot sleep, who are outside because of hunger, are more than the ones who can sleep. So everybody in Nigeria is awake. Nobody is sleeping. AI has come to stay. It's both an opportunity and a threat. So AI, we cannot stop it. It's like a moving train. We cannot stop it. But I don't want the world to treat AI the way they treat internet. When internet came out, there was no cybersecurity was an afterthought. Tim Berners-Lee, who first did www.http, he didn't think of security. He just thought of how can I connect with you? How can he connect with me? So that is why there is absolutely no 100% guaranteed on the internet today. All the solutions we sell, there is still that 1% chance of failure, because security was not envisaged when internet was born. AI must not be allowed to be like internet. Otherwise, our civilization, the 8 billion people in the world, we are facing an existential threat if AI is not controlled. In terms of one of the major effects of COVID-19 is remote work. That one is not sustainable. From what I'm finding out now, it's not sustainable. People have seen that you are more productive in the midst of your people. That nuisance, let's call it nuisance in quote, that distraction we cause one another, is nothing comparable with the benefit we get from one another. So the work at home is not sustainable. It's going to fizzle out. Google already said the same thing. Microsoft already said the same thing, that people are going to come back to work. In terms of remote learning, it's also not as beneficial as in-person learning. I'm into that. I'm in that industry, and I've seen that. So we run everything together. We run online live, we run online anytime, and we run in-person classroom physical. But we realize that when we ask people to choose, 80% of learners, students, they prefer in-person as against online. Finally, it is also dangerous for our children that we are bringing up for them to be in front of screen 8 hours learning. isolation. What are they going to lack? They will lack social skill. They will lack emotional intelligence. And they'll be very vulnerable to suicide. And that's why the rate of suicide went up between 2019 and 2022. The rate of suicide globally, it went up between 2019 and 2020, especially the youth suicide. Because when you are online all the time with Snapchat, with ChatGPT, with everything, chat. So you are not experiencing the real life. So when there is a little shake, they don't have foundation to take it. So the COVID-19 things that we did to survive COVID-19, I'm bold to tell you, some of them are not sustainable. They will fizzle out. Well, for New Horizon, we've been around for 18 years, and for the new year we are in, our message is to promote the 4.0 industrial revolution skills, and we are at the forefront of promoting that, and that's what we intend to continue to do for the couple of years to come, because I realize that those things that we promoted 18 years ago when we came into the market, there is no company you get to in Nigeria corporate environment today or government environment that you are not going to get a former student of New Horizon holding a CIO position or important position in the organization. But those skills, they are no more as important as the new skill, because things have changed. A lot of water has passed under the bridge. So right now, our focus is to produce sufficient experts in the area of 4.0 industrial revolution skills that will make them to contribute immensely to the building of the economy of Nigeria. For instance, anybody earning good salary like $100,000 on the average, those who are very skillful in data science in Germany, they earn as much as $250,000 per annum. So that's almost 200 million per annum. No, how many presidents in the world earn that? So we believe that when we want Nigerians to own that. Not only I have 2 caps on my head, I also mentor the African youth through the One Africa initiatives. I have 32 countries that I mentor their youth right now. So I'm telling them the same message I'm telling the Nigerian youth as well. And it's working. So I'm channeling all of them now to the 4.0 skills, because then they will be the one to control the future economy. And these things is not so difficult to do. Our youth, based on what I know of them, I mix with them every hour of my day, they are smart, as committed as those Indian youths and Chinese youths. So once we can guide them right, I believe the future belongs to them. The reason why Nigeria has not collapsed is because of the informal economy. What has now happened with Emefiele policy of the cashless economy is that we have crashed, the cashless economy has crashed the informal economy. And the anger, the resultant effect of that is the anger we are seeing on the street now with the youth. They are very angry with us, the elite. They are very angry. So we first have to ensure that the informal economy will bring most of them to formal. Then when you now introduce cashless, we are graduating. But it's like someone who has not done O level and just catapult him to PhD. That's what we did. That's what that's what we did. We all suffered. It affected our business. So, because students say they can't even get cash to come to office. That's number one. Number two, the infrastructure upon which a cashless economy will run is dependent on the speed of connectivity. Internet. Yeah, back to infrastructure. The connectivity, the banks are dying now and they know. Sometimes, I don't know whether you experience it, you send money, it will hang in for 4 days before the money is dropped. So we don't have that robust connectivity. And we jump into cashless economy. Who does that? You don't have to be a banker, you don't have to be an economist. All you need is common sense. That this policy I want to introduce, is the infrastructure to make it successful? Is it there? Is the level of awareness, is it high enough to take it? The people in the rural areas, they are dying. We've missed it. You know, when South Korea wanted infrastructure, and we have examples to copy. If you have an answer and I'm looking for a solution, it's just for me to Xerox your answer and copy and paste. What South Korea did with connectivity infrastructure is to make it a state-owned infrastructure. The state owns it. All the companies that need internet, they tap into the state pipe. But what you see in Nigeria is that every company is digging ground. That brings the cost high. Singapore did the same thing. You connect to government pipe. That's where they see it as human rights infrastructure. That government owns the same way government owns transmission for electricity. So government owns the pipe. Individual companies tap into it. The cost will be very affordable to most people. But here, because every company, if you have, maybe probably in Nigeria, we have like less than 10 companies in Nigeria involved in internet infrastructure. All the 10 of them are digging ground to the same location. We are the only country that does that in the world. There's no other country. But that's Nigerian factor. So the infrastructure, some we've missed, we cannot correct. Some we've missed, we can correct. So my own recommendation is that let's stop playing. Let's start serious. Let's get serious. Let's stop playing. Let's get serious.
Share and subscribe to this channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network.